So it's wonderful, and you were also talking about some of the other songs that we just played, the little things that go on behind, and some of the interesting stuff that happens. Like I was talking about, I believe it was Following Bliss. There was this a marimba part that you use a synthesizer for. So, what exactly goes into making an album?
For me, like, what is...
Yes, what is the general process? I know things get varied, but...
Yeah, there's not really a process. Basically, because my work is so terribly eclectic, which I understand is off-putting to some listeners, but I can't help it. It's really the way I do it. Like, most stuff is recorded very quickly. I will just have finished work, or it'll be Saturday morning and I got to go somewhere, and I've kind of have like, I feel when one of them wants to come out, I'll have like a manic, high energy, maybe even a little snappy, intense kind of thing going on, and then I'll go upstairs, I'll turn everything on, and I'd like to say it's a more evolved process than it really is. It's really what I call soul puke. It's just puking out of the soul, and I just utilize recording equipment to facilitate capturing what's going on. So I will just very, almost frantically, if you ever like saw me doing it, just do one track after the other, boom, 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 and sometimes I'll do, if it's a particularly fertile puking day, I could do several in a day. And what's weird is I could go from completely different soundscapes. Like a lot of times, you're an artist will write an album or something, and they'll stay in this kind of same sonic template for the duration of the thing. For me, it's not like that at all. It's like I get this thing out, and then I got to get the next thing out, and it could have a completely different sonic character. And then after a couple weeks or a couple months, I look in the playlist and I see, it's done. Or I don't know when they're done. I'll take a walk or something, and I rarely have time alone raising a family and working and all that. But every once in a while, I'll take a walk or something, or a drive, and then the album title will come to me. And then I'll go back, I'll look at the list, I'm like, yeah, it's an hour's worth of music. Yeah, I guess you just did another one. Like, that's the process.
And some of your titles are very nice. I mean, there's a couple here, like How Ostara Got Her Groove Back. That's one that I really like. Another one here that I really thought was just odd, which is what I like. So I like these odd ones. Is John Smith Is Still a Rocker.
Okay, yeah, well, that's a perfect example. Well, John Smith is still a rocker. I don't. Do you know who John Smith is in Eastport?
I should know, but probably do not.
Tall cowboy gentleman. Looks like he came out of a Marlboro ad from the 70s.
I don't think I've met him.
He's just... Him and his wife, Christina, they're a fixture in Eastport. Older couple, been together forever. I believe they're originally from Oklahoma, made their way out to California and various parts out west. The guy's a very distinguished gentleman. He's always very dapper, and he just got these rugged Western cowboy good looks that
looks just like he just came out of a John Wayne movie.
Yeah, and he looked like he made John Wayne look like crap. He just got this personal charisma. He's just, can I say badass?
Sure.
Sorry, but there's no other way to say it. So, in addition to all these other attributes, he also has a certain musical demonic quality. Older guy, I'd say in his mid-60s, I would guess. He'll sit down with a guitar and play some blues, and it'll be like a freaking rattlesnake coming to life and lashing out at everybody. He's got this potent alter ego that's...
He becomes Scratch on the Crossroads, giving Robert Johnson that deal.
Yeah, kinda. he just I don't know how to explain it. He just gets into this alter ego where he's just this vicious punk country blues rocker. And as you age as a musician, and you get, we live in a culture where the mainstream culture is very, unfortunately, oriented towards style over substance, and that can be damaging to everyone's self-esteem, but especially I think musicians, as we age, and other forms of artists, you can have nagging senses of insecurity and doubt about the relevance of what you're doing and why you're doing it. And then every once in a while, when you see a guy like that who just still has so much vitriol and venom but also
vigor,
vigor and authenticity and just spite, and it just I just find it enlivening, and I find it inspiring, and so I just did this silly blues jam that was kind of like my tribute to his kind of ferocious intensity. Just things like that in life will inspire me once in a while, and I'll kind of like have a response to it.
There's this guy that I've been thinking about. I saw this guy, and he's from Britain. I saw him on YouTube, and he reminds me a lot of this guy because he looks just this blue-collar English bloke. He goes by the stage name of Hollowbelly. And the reason was because he's had so many surgeries, he's had a lot of medical issues, that he doesn't have a lot of his intestines left. But he plays this mix of slide blues punk that will blow the doors off anywhere. It's just this high-intensity, short slide punk songs that you wouldn't think this guy could just rip these suckers out. But when he does, you're like, whoa. It's high-intensity stuff, so maybe something to check out, because this guy sounds a lot like this John Smith.
Yeah, I will do that. Cool. And the other song you mentioned, How a Star Got Her Groove, a lot of times I just try to think of kind of clever permutations of, popular turns of phrase. Like Stella Got Her Groove Back was a famous movie, and sometimes I like to find kind of esoteric references and bring them back into kind of the public dialogue,
It's a weird thing, because have you ever had something happen? Did you ever have something happen that you heard something weird and you wrote it down to save for later? Have you ever done that before?
Yeah.
Because it's just one of those weird things for me, because as another parallel, Gene will just, if someone says something weird or crass, he'll write it down, and he'll use it later on.
Yeah, a lot of times when that happens, I don't even need to write it down. Maybe because it just burns in my brain until I do something with it.
Cool.
I'm like when a dog finds a bone in the woods or something and he can't think about anything else. I'll get like that. Like our dog Sonny, it's this modest, cute little dog, but he manages to find like hindquarters of deer every time we go hiking. And
hindquarters of deer.
Yeah, or skulls. Like he just manages to find.
He's the skull collector,
and he can't think about anything else till he's spent some quality time with that bone. He's got a bone to pick, and that's how I am with certain words or phrases or little things that inspire me.
Like your Luna Muse, it sounds like your Luna Muse sounds like the bone that you have to chase down before you're satisfied.
Well, no, like the words and song titles, like that kind of works like that.
Okay.
But the music itself, I don't have much to do with. Like, you can ask Elijah and Manuela, they bear witness and endure the, what. Let's face it, when you live with an artist who's prolific and, they have to kind of suffer through my madness a lot of times. But they'll tell you, like, we'll be having a normal conversation or eating breakfast, and then all of a sudden I got to go upstairs for 2 hours, and Daddy's got to let his demons out,
Amazing. And yes, I have heard of other other artists that will basically when they get their muse, regardless of when that is, they have to get it out, or else they fear of losing it. There's what was it? There's this piece of classical music that I can't even remember who the name of the artist was, but it's considered one of these great pieces of music, but it's unfinished because he's writing it down, he's going, and then he stops because someone's at the door and he wants to talk to them. He comes back, gone. He has no idea when he completely dropped the ball. So I can see where there's artists that are like that.
Yeah, once in a while that happens, and and sometimes you'll be playing with people and you'll wish the tape had been rolling. But I think of that now as like sometimes like the better ones, they need to be offered up as sacrifices so that the other ones keep coming. I don't know if that makes any kind of sense, but sometimes it feels like you have to offer great art up to the great creative spirit that no one else hears as an offering, as a sacrifice, as a thing that keeps you humble and connected to that sustained creativity.
Yes, I agree.